So we're going to talk about the intersubjective or third space. And you got, to my surprise and delight, you and Kathy got quite excited about it when I mentioned. I was very tentative and hesitant to bring up this topic because it's very dear to my heart, and
It's also abstract.
and it's also abstract, and
Yeah.
it's also, I feel that it can't be objectified. It can't be made something that you aim for or try to produce or look at from the outside. So that's why I'm quite hesitant speaking about it, and I'd rather kind of film it if it when it happens, and let other people kind of experience it by watching the film rather than having us talk about it. But I did bring it up, and you two seem to.
We were. I in the experiential range, or going towards or being in self-realization. It's all about what's happening.
Yes.
For instance, you're talking to me,
Yes.
but I'm here and you're over there, but there's a space between us in which this sound travels.
Yes.
It's a space.
That's right.
There's this quality of self-realization where the inside space turns into the outside space on the knowledge level, and the outside space turns into the inside space. That means the gap between us is where everything is happening.
Well, and I'd like to add that I feel that as we're speaking, I'm kind of getting into you.
You are.
You're getting
it's really
into
bad.
But
But that's exactly right.
yeah,
And especially when you have some empathy, or say somebody you love. We talked about love the other day,
Yes.
right? Well, where's the love happening? It's in you, but it has a point of focus too.
yes,
Whatever you're loving, whether it's your wife or the world or the universe, depending on that, love is a feeling. That feeling traverses objects, and you can feel it.
Yeah.
You could actually feel it. You could see it in the shine of the face. If I'm frowning, I'm not loving you very much, am I?
Okay.
You can also feel that if I don't like you,
yes,
right? But that like and dislike isn't just in me, isn't just in you, it's in the space between us. Self-realization is getting that you are bigger than your physical body. That would be in this. It begins to include space, and what is in that space ultimately. It begins to be friendly to you or connected to you, and you begin to understand you're not just living in this little body, you're actually an expanded being. Expanded means what? It means space is becoming known as the self as well. The space around you.
right.
That's kind of interesting, isn't
It
it?
is very interesting.
Yeah.
And the other interesting thing is that by this is not a very good way of saying it, but it's as if I'm projecting myself
Yes.
into your psyche, or I at the same time I feel I am growing or getting deeper into myself. So this is also an interesting kind of experience.
Mhm.
that while I'm, it is an act of kind of coming out of myself and meeting you and joining you, but at the same time I feel more grounded in myself. It's like I couldn't do that without actually being very attentive and grounded in myself.
Let's look at the self-development process. A person who isn't awake is very much only inside. Or if they're looking at something, they're totally lost in what they're looking at. They're not feeling a connection as much as, okay, maybe it's beautiful, maybe it's that, but the experiencer himself or herself who's inside and outside simultaneously, a person who isn't awake doesn't have that experience.
Right.
Once you realize the self, then what you're really realizing is that you're not limited to the physical body. You're not even limited by your immediate environment. You kind of feel cosmic or unbounded. And that unboundedness isn't outside of you because you're out there. It's your feeling. It's not like you're separate from anything. You are it. You recognize that. You recognize that this stillness and silence that used to be a glimpse or just inside you has expanded to include at least your physical environment, and that physical environment now feels like the space between you and how your senses function. Your eyes are looking over there, your ears are hearing sounds. They feel like, how could you put it? They feel like you're coming back to yourself. You're looking in a mirror. And that quality gives you the sense of connectedness.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it traverses space.
Well, do you think that, I'm thinking, because you said pre-awakening, the person is very much focused on their inner, but I think that also a lot of people get lost in other people. So they're like losing themselves in
That's perfect. And I'd put it even more directly than that, because let's say the self is the fundamental experience of human consciousness, but if you don't have it, then it doesn't matter whether you get lost in the self. You get lost in an ant or anything, however small. The reason being is you're not feeling, the self isn't there, the experiencer isn't there. There's just a process going on. That's what this change is all about. Relative life is what? A pile of change, this, I want more, I need money, it's always more of what? Something you don't really know what it is.
Right.
Only when you wake up, you begin to know what the process is. The self experiencing the self, not only inside, but outside. So there's a kind of intuitive grasp of the unity of consciousness, the unity of the inside and the so-called outside, because it doesn't feel outside so much as it used to.